What is going on, everybody? Tim Williams here. We're here to break down tonight's 7-game MLB slate over on DraftKings. It is Monday. Happy Monday, September 20th. The MLB season is starting to come to a close, but we still have plenty of slates to break down. I had a very, very good NFL Sunday yesterday, cashed in a lot of contests. I hope you did as well. I was kind of thinking I definitely would like to get some NFL content out there, maybe kind of going over, last week's slate briefly, just kind of where, I pivoted in some of my lineups and stuff like that, and kind of maybe going over some of the upcoming weeks as well. So if you're interested in that, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear some feedback with that. But as far as MLB goes, I'm going to try to make as many videos as I can here. I really miss doing these videos. So make sure you subscribe, like the channel, helps me out a ton. Would love to quit my job one day. So let's just jump right into this 7-game slate here. We have the Orioles taking on the Phillies here. 8 over under here. Phillies are favorited. You have Means taking on Ranger Suarez. Means 7.7K. I don't think it's a terrible price on him. He's been decent coming off the IR, 22.5% strikeout rate there. So I don't really love the strikeout upside. 47% fly ball rate. Don't really love that either. He's giving up a lot of fly balls. 221 ISO, 2 right-handed batter. So I am interested in some of these Phillies righties. I'm probably going to be off of Means today. On the other side, Suarez 6.5K, 25% strikeout rate here, 8.7% walk rate, but I'm not too concerned with that. 61% ground ball rate. That is very excellent. Just doing a really good job of limiting power this season. So I am in on Suarez. I think he's a great value play. I think he's going to garner some ownership here, but they're not playing in Baltimore. They are playing in Philly. He's been pitching very, very well as of late. I'm not really interested in a ton of these Baltimore bats either. So that kind of bumps up Suarez in my player pool. The bats from Baltimore that I would possibly have interest in is Hayes at 3.2K, just because of the value here, right? I think we're going to need to pay up for some pitching. But as far as Hayes goes, 15% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. So he's not really striking out a ton. 250 ISO power against lefties as well. 46% ground ball rate. So that's the one concern about Hayes that I have, is he's hitting into a lot of ground balls. Suarez gives up a lot of ground balls. So Hayes for value, but not a ton of interest. Mountcastle as well, 4.7K. I think that's just a little bit too pricey. He has been hitting good. 259 ISO against lefties. His one, kind of area of improvement is he strikes out a lot versus lefties here, 25%. So I think I'm off the Baltimore bats. On the other side with the Phillies, Galvis, I love a lot. Right-handed batter. Does really well against left-handed pitching, 250 ISO there on the season. Segura, 4.5K. I don't love the price there, but he's very, very much in play. McCutchen, my favorite bat in this game in general, 3.5K, 353 ISO versus left-handed pitching there. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I just stuttered there. I couldn't believe the number that just jumped out on the screen. And then Harper at 6K. I think he's always in play if you're trying to round out a 3-man stack. But Galvis, McCutchen, my first 2, and then Segura if I need the savings, Harper as well. So I like some of these Phillies bats. Next game we have to talk about here is the Rangers taking on the Yankees, 8.5 over under here. The Yankees are favorited at home. Alexi taking on Cortez. Alexi 6.3K. I don't really love the matchup here. 24% strikeout rate, 15% walk rate. I don't really like that. He's a young kid taking on a very, very experienced lineup. I do know the Yankees strike out quite a bit. But Alexi himself giving up a lot of fly balls this season, 65% fly ball rate, 259 ISO power, 2 right-handed batters, and Yankees have a ton of right-handed bats that I would be interested in. So I'm off of Alexi. On the other side, Cortez, 8.6K. I think the price is a little bit high, but he's been pitching very well as of lately. 28% strikeout rate here, 47% fly ball rate. But let's be real, the Rangers bats are not that good. The only bat I would be interested in maybe is Garcia, but he's priced up near 5K. So Rangers bats pass. I am interested in Cortez. I think he goes lower owned than some of these pitchers we're going to talk about here. So definitely in the player pool there. It looks like I have a ton of interest in the Yankees here on the screen, but let's just talk through it here. So Stanton, 4.3K. I think that's just kind of a free square, right? I think that's too cheap. He has a ton of upside against Alexi here. This is the one bat I really do truly love as a one-off. Judge, 5.2K. I think that's a luxury. If I have the money, I wouldn't mind going there. He has a lot of upside, but Stanton's the real right-handed bat that I'm looking for here. Gallo at 4K, Rizzo at 3.8K. I think they're just great value plays. I'm not totally interested in them, but if I happen to fall on them, I don't mind it. But I think I'm just going to kind of backload my lineup. And then Voit, if he is in the lineup, 3.3K becomes my number 2 bat on the Yankees if he does play. So love Stanton, love Voit if he makes the lineup because he is too cheap for his power upside. Judge if I have the money, and then Gallo, Rizzo if I'm really trying to full stack it. But yeah, Stanton looks pretty nice tonight. Next game we have here is the Blue Jays taking on the Rays. 8 over under here. The Blue Jays are favorited on the road. Ray taking on Boz. Boz call up. We'll get to him in a second here, but Ray 10.2K, the clear obvious spend up here. He is the most talented pitcher on this slate. It's hard to fade him in 7 games, I must say. 33.4% strikeout rate here, 42% fly ball rate. I'm not concerned there because the strikeout upside is so massive. 187 ISO to right-handed batters. It's not terrible, but yeah, he can give up a home run or two, but he has that strikeout upside, which is, yeah, like I said, it's just too hard to pass up on a slate like this. So I'm very in on Ray. I think he's going to be my number 1 pitcher for tonight's games. Shane Baz on the other side, 6.9K. If he was 5K, I'd be a little bit more interested. So the price is a little high for a guy who's going to be making his major league debut. The talent is there. He's one of their top prospects, one of the top prospects, pitching prospects in baseball. 176 ERA in AAA this year, 64 strikeouts in 46 innings. That is very impressive. He doesn't walk a ton of guys. The one concern I have about him in this start in particular is he got scratched his last start because of back spasms. They talked about maybe shutting him down because it's kind of late in the season, but clearly the Rays need some firepower here. So I think I'm going to get off of him. It's a tough matchup against the Blue Jays. That being said, I think it's going to be really hard to pay up for the Blue Jays. Guerrero's my number 1 back, clearly. I mean, that's just an obvious take. 5.9K, Semien 5.4K. He's been mashing the ball this year, but I like Blue Jays more against left-handed pitchers. There's too much variance in this situation. Blue Jays are just kind of expensive, at least the bats that I would want. So I'm kind of off the Blue Jays. I like those 2 guys as a one-off. And then on the other side, I'm not really interested in the Rays either. We know Ray can strike out and strike out guys, and we know that the Rays strike out a ton. He just dropped like a 40 burger on the Rays last time out. The one bat I am interested in to fill my catcher position would be Zunino at 4.7K. I don't mind paying up for him at all. 539 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. That is insane. We do know that Ray can give up home runs. I don't mind playing Ray, including Zunino in my lineup. I think that'll get you a little bit different in GPPs. I don't mind doing that at all, and I probably will do that as of right now. So I'm interested in Ray, interested in Zunino mainly. Next game we have is the Cardinals taking on the Brewers, 8 over under here. Woodford taking on Peralta. Woodford 5.2K, no interest there. 247 ISO to left-handed batter, so we'll talk about that. Peralta on the other side, 9.2K, 34% strikeout rate here, right? He has a massive, ceiling. However, 10% walk rate, 47% fly ball rate, but he doesn't give up a ton of home runs here. He has the strikeout upside, but it seems like Milwaukee's trying to keep his pitch count kind of lower, 70 to 85 pitches max, it seems like. So maybe he only goes 5 innings, but we're kind of used to that. He kind of gives up a lot of, he takes a lot of pitches. So I think I have some interest in Peralta. It's going to be hard for me to justify that 9.2 price tag, especially if he's only going to pitch around 70 to 85 pitches. But the upside is there. As far as bats go, I am off of the Cardinals here. I think the Brewers they're just a good team. The bullpen is nasty. So I'm off St. Louis. Brewers bats though, Vogelbach, my favorite one because of price. If he is playing 2.8K, left-handed bat, like we talked about, Woodford gives up a lot of power to lefties. So he has a nice salary saver there. Wong at 4.3K. I think he's priced just about right. Escobar, Yelich, I think they're in play if you're looking to three-man stack, but really looking at Vogelbach here as a one-off, just cheap if I need a salary saver. Next game we have is the Astros taking on the Angels. 9 over under here. Astros are favorited on the road. Valdez taking on Barria. Valdez 9.5K here, 22% strikeout rate, 10.7% walk rate, which I don't really love. 70% ground ball rate. He's been pitching well pretty much all season. I think the price tag is a little expensive. The matchup is excellent. So you kind of have to, weigh those two factors in. I think his ceiling is somewhat limited on this slate for that price. It's going to be hard for me to get to him. I think I don't know if he's going to be the most popular pitcher on the slate. I don't think he's even going to be the top 3 most popular pitcher on the slate. So it would be kind of interesting contrarian wise to take Valdez here. But on the other side, Barria 5.6K. That's a hard pass for me. Angels bullpen's really weak. So I'm very interested in these Astros bats. Bregman at 4.2K continues to basically be a free square. I don't know why they're pricing him that cheap. Alvarez at 5.1. That's a pretty excellent price. I think that's fair. Tucker at 4.4, Correa at 4.4. Do have some interest there. I like Tucker over Correa, but yeah, so definitely have interest in the Astros. I think Altuve's in play as well. His price tag's a little high, 5.7K. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to kind of make a lineup with him in it, but really love the Astros in general. On the other side, Angels just don't have any interest. Valdez, good pitcher, gets a lot of ground balls. Astros bullpen pretty decent. So pass on the Angels. Next game we have is the Braves taking on the Diamondbacks. Yanoa taking on Mejia. Yanoa 9.1K here. I think the price tag's a little egregious. It's a little high. I think his ceiling is always kind of limited to around 20 DraftKings points. He has a nice strikeout rate here, 29% strikeout rate, 50% ground ball rate, 203 ISO to right-handed batters. But over the last 30 days, it's kind of been reversed, right? He's been struggling more to lefties. And we'll talk about that when we get to the Diamondbacks bats. On the other side, Mejia at 7.8K, hard pass. Braves lineup is just too good. 1 through 8 is just they're a tough team to play. So as far as bats go, Freeman at 5.2. I love him a lot at the top. Riley 4.3, Duvall 4.1. I think these two guys have so much upside. I think they're maybe priced kind of appropriately, maybe a little bit too cheap. Duvall really isn't really pushing past like 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, that area, that range. So really love Duvall. I think he guys kind of goes maybe a little bit lower owned than some of these other guys. Like Soler is going to be really, really popular. The Braves in general are just going to be really popular. So another way to get different is taking Eddie Rosario at 2.5K. That's a really, really nice salary saver there. Albies 4.8. Yes, he's in play. On the other side with the Diamondbacks, I am probably off of them. Is slumping a little bit over the last 30 days, giving up a 171 ISO against left-handed batters. The Diamondbacks are going to throw a lot of lefties here, maybe 6-7 lefties against Yanoa. So I think they make for an interesting contrarian stack, primarily maybe in that big bat flip, the $18 contest, 50K to first kind of thing. So I'm probably not going to get to any Diamondbacks in the contest I'm going to play. But if I want to throw one lineup into that big bat flip GBP, I think I would stack the Diamondbacks just you have to get different in that contest, right? Next game here we have is the Mariners taking on the A's. This is game 7 of 7 on the slate here. So thank you for watching if you made it this far. 8 over under here, A's favored. Anderson taking on Manaea. Anderson 8.2K. I think that's a little pricey. A's are just a team I don't really want to attack. I think Anderson in general has a limited ceiling, only a 19% strikeout rate there. So not a ton of interest there. Manaea on the other side, 8.9K. Been real up and down as of late. He can sometimes get you 30. He can sometimes get you 3. So I don't know if I'm going to just put my full faith in him on a 7-game slate. 25% strikeout rate, not even that great for someone that around 9K. I think it's fine, but he is giving up a lot of hard contact this season, 44% hard contact. I think over the last 30 days, it's something ridiculous, like 56%. So 240 ISO to right-handed batters over the last 30 days. So yeah, he has been struggling. Mariners, I think the pricing is really tough to get to any of these guys. I do like Haniger as like a contrarian one-off at 5.7K, but probably not going to get there myself. And then on the other side with the A's, I think they're going to go massively low owned on this slate. I know the Mariners are playing for a wild card spot, but so are the A's. So this is going to be very, very interesting game, very meaningful game here. I really love Matt Olson at 5.1K. It's a great, excellent pivot from Freeman. Freeman's going to get crazy amount of ownership, 20%, roughly around there. Olson, I think he goes way, way under the radar here. So I really love him a lot. Canha, I love a lot at 4.7K. I don't love the pricing, but I think he's in play. Chapman at 4.5K. I think that's a really, really good contrarian option as opposed to, going with the Riley route or the Bregman route. So Chapman, I think he's in play as well. Marte, kind of pricey, but yeah, if you're stacking the A's, I don't mind getting to like a 3-man stack here. So that'll do it. My name's Tim Williams. Thank you for watching. I hope to be making more of these videos, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Put on that notification bells just so you know when I do upload a video here. So follow me on Twitter, Tim Williams DFS. We'll chat there. I'd love to get some NFL content, so let me know what you'd want to see, and that'll do it. Good luck in your contest tonight. Peace out.